Atma Namaste to all of you, and welcome to the second day of the Forgiveness Gratitude Week from the 1st of July 2023 to the 7th of July 2023. We are on this mission, a passionate mission, to reduce the burden of the earth of hatred and injury. So let us get on to the process. So let's start with trying to heal our relationships. You see, most of us get into patterns which repeat and repeat and repeat. शक्लें बदलती हैं, नाम बदलती है, लेकिन हालातें वैसे ही रहती है. शक्लें बदलती हैं, नाम बदलती है, लेकिन हालात वैसे ही रहता है. Relationship change, people change, faces change, but the patterns through which you go through with them in your life, something does not change. So what is that has to be transformed? You see, there could have been shocking relationships where you had held all your faith and had all your expectations that this will definitely be the one. You had put in full trust. You had put all your efforts to make a certain relationship work. It could have been a friend, a spouse, or a colleague. And when I have given my 100%, and I feel that it simply is not coming back that much, but still I keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, because I tend to believe that when I give my 100%, the person opposite to me will also come into giving what I expect. Now that is the problem. अक्सर मुझे ऐसे बोलने में मजा आता है वैसे कि हम लोग सब्जी की दुकान में खड़े हो जाते हैं और बोलते हैं, जिद करते हैं कि मुझे यहीं से मोबाइल खरीदना है. और रिलेशनशिप में भी ऐसे ही होता है. हम किसी इंसान को अपने जैसे बनाना चाहते हैं, और अपने जैसे बनाने में या अपने अनुसार उसको बदलने में हम इतना मेहनत करते हैं. हम उसके परवरिश, हम उसके सोच और विचार, हम उसके भावनाओं की तरफ बिल्कुल ध्यान नहीं देते हैं, और सिर्फ हमारा एकमात्र मकसद होता है कि ये इंसान जैसे हम चाहे वैसे बन जाए. Yes, there is this constant effort by most of us when we get into any kind of relationship, whether it is a friend, whether it is a spouse, whether it is a colleague, that we are constantly trying to make them do what we want. Yes, that is like the one-pointed effort of the entire game. And when things do not happen like what we want, like we are not being successful in making that person think what we want or speak what we want, most probably the person would just leave, or the relationship would just break. Yes. And then the next point, we get into a state of trauma. अक्सर हम आंखें बंद करके किसी के साथ जुड़ते हैं ये सोच के साथ कि दुनिया के हर इंसान अच्छा तो है, अच्छाई में कोई कमी नहीं है, लेकिन हर इंसान आपके अनुसार अच्छा हो. The point about expecting good is not what is the wrong point. The point is simply that you want everybody to do things as you want it. And in the process, what happens? You get pained, you get hurt, you go into a state of misery. Yes, because it's always like my way is not exactly the highway, but my way is right. I want people to understand me. That is the major point that the whole society is fighting with, that nobody understands me. It's not the way that actually your problem does not actually arise from there. The point is, you want the other person to be as you are, and only if that is possible, you think there is a point of understanding. तो ऐसे करते 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 एक इंसान के साथ हमारा जिंदगी, हो सकता है बहुत बुरे मुकाम में हम पहुंच गए, हम अपने ख्वाहिश करते रहें, अपने सोच विचार के खिचड़ी और पुलाव बनाते रहें, लेकिन जब उस तरीके से हुआ नहीं तो हमारा दिल टूट गया, और वो दिल जो टूटा था उसमें दर्द और खौफ जो भर गया हमारे रोम रोम में भर के, हम उसी घृणा और नफरत के साथ जीते हैं और सोचते हैं कल और बेहतर हो जाएगा। ये कैसा मुमकिन है कि हम अपने रोम रोम में जब घृणा और नफरत, जैसे इंसान कूड़ा इकट्ठा करता है अपने घर के एक कोने में और उसे फेंकने से मना कर देता है और सिर्फ सोचते रह जाता है कि एक कोने में तो कूड़ा है, उसकी बदबू जब फैलती है तब भी वो सोचते रह जाता है अरे बदबू कहीं और से आ रही है। अक्सर हमारा जीवन ऐसा है। We have been accumulating from our childhood, from our past relationships, from our patterns, from our memories. There is so much accumulation. Social trauma is more about accumulation. It is like accumulating more garbage and more garbage. Of course, we have been taught how to separate our dry waste and our wet waste, and what to make into manure, and what to throw, and how much we should leave as a carbon print, and how much plastic we should use or not use. But unfortunately, जो दिल और दिमाग का कूड़ा है उसे निकालने के लिए हमने कोई तरीका अपनाया नहीं है। नहीं कि है नहीं, है तो बहुत कुछ तरीके, लेकिन अपनाने का समय जब आएगा तब ही आपका दिल और दिमाग का कूड़ा खत्म हो सकता है। There is so much that we accumulate, so much, so much, so much. And these situations, these vibrations which breed hatred and pain within me, remain with me. That is the problem. And जैसे कि कूड़ा, the garbage which gets accumulated in one part of your house starts stinking at one point of time. Similarly, the garbage that you take into yourself starts stinking. There's a frequency, there's an energy that it radiates. And when the garbage in your house, which has been accumulated for over a month, when it starts stinking, then what do you expect? You expect your friends to come home for tea or coffee and have a good time? Or do you expect that there will be cockroaches and lizards and all the kinds of pests, rats, who are attracted towards that stink or the smell? And similarly, what happens when we accumulate vibrations, doubts, insecurities, fears, phobias from all our old relationships, when we have accumulated poison and hatred from our relationships, when we have thought that iske upar to mitti पा दो, मिट्टी तो डाल दिया लेकिन मिट्टी के नीचे तो उसको दफना के रखा है, मिट्टी के नीचे तो वो सड़ के बायोगैस बन गया कि आपको उसकी बदबू आ रही है, फिर भी you're in the state of denial that no, 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 what I have completely forgotten him. You see, forgetting and forgiving is completely a different game. Most of the times when we talk to people, they would tell us, हम उन्हें भूल चुके हैं, हम उन्हें भूल चुके हैं, बस उनकी ना नाम याद दिलाइए, ना शक्ल याद दिलाइए, ना उनके बारे में कुछ जिक्र करिए, ना उनकी नाम, ना शक्ल, ना कोई जिक्र करिए, हम भूल चुके हैं. You have the skeletons in your closet which you are not willing to bury and let go of. You have just put it within you and expecting that it will not harm you or hurt you. And what is forgiveness? Forgiveness is to understand that you have the skeletons in your closet which you need to get rid of, and you need to get rid of it for your own good, for you deserve a clean space, a clean home, a clean living, a clean life. Okay? So that's what forgiveness is different. That is how forgiveness is different from forgetting. So most of the time people would talk about forgetting. And if you go to a person who would be counseling you on a relationship healing, he would say, Close the doors, scream, shout, let it go. If you did not have a closure, you should be able to tear out a couple of pillows with the intent that मैंने उसको बस जिसने मेरे को तंग किया है उसका गला दबा दिया, उसको जोर से एक थप्पड़ दे दिया और मेरे अंदर शांति हो जाती है। जितने लोग आप सुन रहे हो, कभी आपको ऐसे शांति हुआ है कि आपने कोई तकिया को फाड़ा या कोई किताब को फाड़ा? आपको क्या एक्चुअली असलियत में कोई शांति मिली है? जब तक आपने उस इंसान के साथ उस पॉइंट पे बातचीत खत्म करके क्लोजर नहीं किया है। सो अनफॉर्चुनेटली मोस्ट ऑफ द सोसाइटी is running into a certain mill, round and round, trying to create more anger and more hatred and just store it within them. When they show hatred and anger on a pillow or throw something down or scream out their lungs in the forest, it does not mean that the problem is solved or the vibrations have been ended with. You need to learn to get rid of these vibrations that keep haunting you, just not year after year, but life after life. You know, some children have this state of fear or panic when they are born. It is not just because of the environment at that point of time. It is not just because something scared them out. It is because that they are carrying some remnant memories from a past birth. And the teaching of forgiveness is important for us to let go of all that our consciousness is carrying along with it. The teaching of consciousness has not yet seeped into the fabric of our society because it is just considered as something which is not a logical reality. But the illogical reality is the true vidya that we have to acknowledge and understand. We need to understand that the unseen world controls our physical existence. Have you seen an iceberg? Have you seen an iceberg? If you look at an iceberg, 90% of it is floating below the water and only 10% is above the water. So for this 10%, what you see as an iceberg above the water, there requires a support of 90% below the ground. Have you seen these tall skyscrapers? How do you think they will actually survive an earthquake? If they need to survive an earthquake, there has to be an equally strong foundation below the earth. That is the first priority. Yes. So as high the building goes, so much deeper is the foundation and so much stronger it is. You cannot have a huge tree surviving for hundreds of years if its roots were very, very weak. Yes, because it is simply not possible to have a weak root, to have a weak foundation, and to grow tall and constantly assured. Okay. If you want to assure yourself that you are strong, not just to show the world that you are strong, but you want to have an internal assurance that you are strong, then it is important for us to tackle the unseen world. जो अदृश्य दुनिया है, जब हम उस अदृश्य दुनिया में जो प्रॉब्लम्स है उसको सेटल करते हैं, जो हमारा आभा मंडल है, जो प्राणमय कोश है, जिस पे चक्रा स्थित है, जिसके द्वारा हम इस दुनिया के ऊर्जा को अपने अंदर लेके जाने का प्रयास कर सकते हैं, जब तक ये आभा मंडल में जो पुरानी यादें, सोच, विचार, घृणा, नफरत इकट्ठा किया है उसको मिटाने के तरीके हम नहीं ढूंढ लेते हैं, तब तक कोई गारंटी नहीं है कि हम बाहर के दुनिया के दिखावे के लिए या बाहर के दुनिया के अनुसार जो भी हम करते हैं उसका फल उस तरीके से मिलेगा जिस तरीके से हम चाहते हैं. On the external world, you may be a great intellectual. In the external world, you may be eating right, you eat the right supplements, you eat the right food, you do the right exercises. But in the internal world, which nobody around can actually see, but which governs your existence, the internal world speaks the actual reality of what you are. Okay, So a small part of handling this internal world is called as forgiveness. And of course, healing and other spiritual practices will help you to strengthen this inner world so that the external world around you is strong enough to not shake with every breeze. Yes, people don't just shake in the face of a storm. People shake in the face of a breeze. Are you understanding my point? छोटे छोटे बातों से ही लोग हिलते हैं, बड़े बड़े बातें तो कभी कभी होती है जिंदगी में, बड़ी बड़ी बातें तो कभी कभी होती है जिंदगी में. यस, छोटी छोटी बातें अक्सर होती है, दिन रात होती है, और उन्हीं से हिलता है कोई इंसान. ठीक है? So I hope you understand the point. Let's learn to throw all that small things that we accumulate as garbage on a daily basis. And it is time that we allow the society around us to understand this. You see, long time back, the survival of the fittest was based on the fact that people would die of dysentery and diarrhea and some kind of a physical illness. And now science has gone to that point that technically, even if you are going to eat adulterated food, मतलब जो खाना मिलता है उसमें बहुत सारा केमिकल्स है, बहुत सारा अडल्ट्रेशन है, और अगर आपकी किस्मत आपको दिल्ली जैसे एक बहुत खूबसूरत शहर में लेके आई है, तो यहाँ पे पोल्यूशन ऐसा है कि इसको जहर माना जाता है. इसके बावजूद हम जिंदा है, हम ठीक ठाक है, हमारा सब कुछ बढ़िया चल रहा है. तो दैट मीन द बॉडी हैज म्यूटेटेड एंड हैज द एबिलिटी टू एडजस्ट इटसेल्फ टू अ ग्रेट डिग्री टू ऑल दोस पॉइजन्स दैट द फिजिकल बॉडी हैड बीन फेड विद अर्लियर एंड द बॉडी डाइड. अब मेरी बात समझ रहे हो? पहले के जमाने में जो थोड़ा अडल्ट्रेशन और फूड और इसमें शरीर बचता नहीं था, लोग मर जाते थे. यस, ये क्यों होता था? क्योंकि तब शरीर का हालात ऐसे था. Yes, the degree of ability of the body to handle certain things were only that much. With mutation, with the time having passed by, the survival of the fittest is not based on the strength of the physical bodies alone, not at all. The survival of the fittest is based on your emotional and the mental trauma that you take into yourself and you are not willing to even share with the people around you. You're not willing to tell, or you're not willing to let it go. You're not willing to let go of the garbage. Now that is what determines the survival of the fittest. And that is what is determining the survival of the fittest. People would open up themselves to an ocean of viral infections or many more things when they just have the stress within them, which acts like a sponge, which will absorb any kind of possible infections. What is the sponge which will absorb all kinds of possible infections? The stress, the irritation, the anger, the hatred, the pain, the feeling that they have been insulted and let down. All that, when you carry it on along and along and along, becomes this beautiful place where the germs can breed within you and make you sick. And that is how that human beings can get themselves sick. Yes. So let's get to the point. The point about this week is to act upon forgiveness so that we become one of the fittest to be able to survive and move forward. Okay. So let's put our hands together in the Namaste position, smile. We are all children of God and children of Most High. We do understand that we are all in a state of evolution. हम सब विकास के मार्ग में हैं और विकास के मार्ग में बहुत सारे गलतियां होती है. कई सारे गलतियों को हम ना समझ पाते हैं, ना याद कर पाते हैं. अपने गलतियां खास करके हम ना याद रखते हैं, ना समझ पाते हैं. दूसरों की गलतियां जरूर याद रखते हैं, समझते भी हैं, और उन्हें हम अपने अंदर इतना उतार देते हैं कि उस इंसान के बारे में जो गलत फहमी बैठ गई है उसे निकालने में कई बरसों लग जाती है. There are so many misunderstandings that we hold on within ourselves about our colleagues, our teachers, our friends, our relatives, our sisters, our brothers, our siblings, our children. Yes, our exes, our spouses. So many relationship issues, so many misunderstandings, but it just keeps piling and piling and piling and piling and gathering. And I am so good at piling up what I feel that others have given me and others have wronged me. And when it comes to myself, I have this forgetful memory that I don't even remember what mistake I did. Now I have to understand that everybody is in a state of evolution. सब लोग विकास के मार्ग में है, सबसे गलतियां होती है. Everybody is in the state of evolution and everybody makes mistakes. This has to be my simple and clear understanding. This has to be my simple and clear understanding that everybody makes mistakes. So God, give me the strength, give me the courage. Like Mahatma Gandhi would say, it is an act of courage to be able to forgive. माफ करना साहसी लोगों का काम है. ऐसे आसानी से होता नहीं, हो भी नहीं सकता है, क्योंकि आप अपना बर्थ राइट समझते हो किसी और का भूल को पकड़ के रखने का. So God, give me the strength and the courage that I am able to let go of all the unnecessary past, forget it completely, that even if a conversation arises about that person, I simply should not be able to remember what hurt or harm or pain that person has given. I should just learn my lesson, become more alert, and just simply let go of all unnecessary past. When I constantly analyze unimportant things or I constantly become critical and judgmental towards a person, the possibility of that person to change and transform and become better is also stopped because of my effort of thinking that this person will never change. हम जब सोच लेते हैं कि कोई इंसान बदलेगा ही नहीं, तो हमारा हाथ उसमें भी लग जाता है कि हम सोच लेते हैं कि बस ये इंसान बदल ही नहीं सकता है. When I put this thought, then I am wrong, doing a wrong thing. I need to understand this. I need to have the courage and the ability to understand that everybody is moving forward. If I make mistakes and if I want a second chance, I truly understand that others also make mistakes and they should be given a second chance. I need to forgive internally. God, give me the strength. Externally, I need to take the right action. Internally, I need to forgive. If it is a murderer, it's a rapist, he could be a social terror. So internally, I should not be holding on to the anger or the hatred. Externally, I need to put that rapist or a murderer behind the bars because it is what is good for all. But I need not take that anger and hatred with me. Give me this understanding. इतना अगर हम समझ लिए हैं तो हम सब आध्यात्मिक मनुष्य के लेबल लगाने के लिए लायक बन गए हैं. If we can start understanding what Buddha talked about 2400 years back, if we can start understanding what Jesus talked about 2000 years back, if we can start understanding what Mahavira preached, yes, if we can just start understanding that forgiveness is the key to the spiritual living, and on the spiritual path, you will be guided and protected. But forgiveness is the beginning. क्षमा, दिल से क्षमा, बाहरी दुनिया के दिखावे के लिए नहीं. हे ईश्वर, हमें इतना क्षमता प्रदान करें कि हम दिल से खुद को भी और दूसरों को भी क्षमा करने लायक बने. हम बहुत तसल्ली से, आराम से, बिना कोई प्रयास, हम सबको माफ करने लायक बन जाएं. Please bless us with the ability to practice unconditional forgiveness and love effortlessly at all times. And I bless all those people whom I think have hurt me and pained me. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. I bless you. Go in peace. Let us cut, cut, cut. Smile. God, I ask for forgiveness. To the degree that I have been cheated, I have been let down. To the degree that my relationships have caused me pain, it is impossible that I would never have caused such a thing to others. कर्म के सिद्धांत के अनुसार जो हम बीज डालते हैं उन्हीं के अनुसार हमें फसल मिलता है। Nature works on a simple law that what you sow is what you reap. Nature works on a simple law that what you sow is what you reap. What I have given is what I shall receive. What I have given is what I shall receive. If I had never ever given pain, I would never be receiving pain. So I truly, truly do not know all those people I have hurt. I may not remember. Of course, many I would have hurt in this birth, and many I would have hurt unintentionally. Just say, let's look at a small scenario. In a crowd, if you would have just elbowed a person and hurt somebody unknowingly, stepped on somebody's toe because you wanted to go ahead of that person and just asked a sorry and just moved on. And this has become an action that you really don't repent for. Many times we do small things, छोटी छोटी बातें रोज होती है, बड़ी बड़ी हादसाएं कभी कभी होती। हम जो छोटे छोटे बीज डालते जाते हैं रोज, छोटी सी झूठ इधर उधर, छोटी सी दुख इधर उधर, हम जिनके ऊपर कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, like if we are the boss and if you have people under you who are working for you, there are small things that we say. We think that is our birthright. It's okay. I'm paying that person. I have the right to tell him this. You have the right to tell what is right, but you don't have the right to become nasty. You have the right to tell the person to do something, but not to dominate. So there is a very thin line between doing what you are rightfully supposed to do and when we start dominating, when we start controlling, when we start pushing people. And most of the times we simply are not aware of it. But the person we pushed and pushed and pushed, even though the person has done his best, and we have not understood that the best has been offered to us and we have not appreciated it, and we kept pushing and pushing and dominating and torturing and abusing. Sometimes we just forget and we just go on to think that if something has gone wrong with somebody, then usko kuch bhi suna sakte hain. We have the right to be blunt on the face because what I think was right was not done by this person. And if I have added on, हमारे खाते में ऐसे बहुत सारे actions हम इकट्ठा करते गए, 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 और बहुत सारे लोगों के दिल में हमने नफरत के बीज बो दिया, तो कभी न कभी तो गड़ा भरेगा, कभी न कभी तो सुदर्शन चक्र निकलेगा. We just keep accumulating and accumulating and accumulating and accumulating and accumulating and just not aware of it because these are small things we do. We have not killed anybody, we have not slapped anybody, we have not taken away by force anybody's finances, pickpocket नहीं किया है, बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं किया है. छोटे छोटे बातें जिसको हम भी भूल जाते हैं और सोचते हैं जिसको हमने दुख दिया है वो भी भूल जाए, इसको पकड़ के रखने की क्या जरूरत है, इसको इतना सोचने की क्या जरूरत है. ऐसे जब हम बोलते हैं उस सामने वाले इंसान को और दुख होता है. So God, I really don't know how many times I have done this. How many times I have been on the face, I have taunted people. I thought this is the way that I speak. मेरे बात करने का तरीका ही ऐसा है, आप बुरा मान लिए तो मैं क्या करूं. इस तरीके से जब भी हमने किसी को बस नजरअंदाज कर लिया, हमने किसी को दुख दे दिया और उसको नजरअंदाज कर दिया, तो कभी न कभी तो वो दुख को हमें महसूस करना ही होगा ताकि हम अपने विकास के मार्ग में आगे बढ़े. God loves us so much that He cannot allow us to do mistakes constantly, because we will just drown into the ocean of evil when our mistakes have accumulated so much. So it is the timely awareness is brought in by the grace of God that we are given some pain to make us understand that we have done this. Whatever happens to us is a reflection of our own inner existence. हमारे अंदर जो चीज चल रहा है वो दुनिया को कैसे दिखेगा? आपके बाल में पीछे 3 बाल सफेद हो गए तो आपको कैसे दिखेगा आगे से? आपके अंदर जो कमी है आपको कैसे दिखेगा? तो इसका रास्ता ऐसा है जो भगवान ने बनाया है कि आपके आसपास ऐसे लोग पहुंच जाएंगे जो आपको तंग करेंगे. क्यों तंग कर रहे हैं? क्योंकि आपने भी ऐसे ऐसे काम किए हैं पहले. लेकिन हम किस चीज को पकड़ के रख जाते हैं कि इसने तंग किया है मेरे को, तो बस इसके ऊपर तीर मारे. But that is not the point. What we see around us, the people who trouble us, are all a reflection of our own inner state of what we are capable of doing. And what irritates us the most is what we have done to others. So anyway, this is a long science to understand. Yes, it is a science of existence for you to understand. So I hope this is day 1 that we have seriously trying to understand what forgiveness is about. Yesterday it was just the beginning. So you need to understand that if I have not given this hardship, if I have not ignored people's problems, if I have not been blunt of the face, if I have not used words which drive into their hearts like a knife, technically in the kingdom of God, it is not possible for me to get such situations into my life. ईश्वर के इस ब्रह्मांड के नियमों के अनुसार जो हमने दिया नहीं है वो हमारी जिंदगी में वापस आ ही नहीं सकता है. जो बीज हमने डाला नहीं है उसके अनुसार हमें वो दुख आ ही नहीं सकता है जब हमने किसी को दिया नहीं. तो इस समझ के साथ हम क्षमा मांग लेते हैं. Yes, let us just say simply, I truly don't know whom all I have hurt. And the way that I'm getting hurt again and again, I would have hurt so many people, so many people. That is why this pattern simply does not break. I would have promised somebody something and I would have just disappeared. The way I'm getting cheated or misled, I would have misled. पता नहीं हमने क्या किया, पता नहीं हमने क्या किया, लेकिन हम ये समझ रहे हैं कि जब तक हमने कुछ किया नहीं तो हम दुखी नहीं हो सकते. तो हे ईश्वर, पता नहीं कितने लोगों को हमने दुख दिया होगा जिसके लिए कुछ फसल काट चुके हैं और कुछ अभी काटना बाकी है. लेकिन हम तैयार हैं, हम माफी मांगते हैं. हम माफी उन सब लोगों से मांगते हैं जिनको हमने दुख दिया है और हम उस दुख जो दिए थे उसको नजरअंदाज किए. I ask for forgiveness, I ask for forgiveness, I plead for forgiveness, I beg for forgiveness from all those people whom I have hurt. और जिस शिद्दत से हमने माफ करना सीखा है, हे ईश्वर हमें भी वैसे ही माफ करें. To the degree that I have been able to forgive others who are a pain in the neck around me, may I be able to forgive others also. May I be forgiven. When I forgive others, may I be forgiven. When I forgive others, may I be forgiven. I forgive and I ask for forgiveness. 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 So today, take some time and do this. Okay, a small story before we finish. It's already time. So about 5 years back, I had this horrible sciatica pain. So pains, unless you go through it, you really don't know how bad it is. So before that time, I was quite fit. And of course, after that also I'm fit. But the point was, at that point, the spine was in such a bad condition that it was not possible to lie down, karvat lena mushkil. It was not possible to sit down, even travel by train, or even if I go by a flight. So finally I thought, oh my God, okay, let me just purchase a belt. So I was traveling to Mumbai, and for a class session, I got this belt, which is suggested by the doctors for lower back pain. I wore this pain, and it was not really, really sufficient to get rid of the pain. It was okay. It was a little bearable. The pain became bearable from 100% to 50%. And even though I was a healer and I was healing myself, it simply just did not subside. And I was already getting help for healing from others. And then one day, when I was all by myself in Mumbai, and I was having a tough time in Mumbai because I could not sit down in the class because I could not get up after that. So that evening, I just started this, what I'm trying to tell you. It works. It really works. I just started with the prayer, I forgive and I ask for forgiveness. I forgive and I ask for forgiveness. I forgive and I ask for forgiveness. I took out a paper and pen and I started writing this down. I forgive and I ask for forgiveness, because most of the times you're clueless about whom you hurt. And you're clueless about what hurts you. Actually, we are clueless. हम लोग इतना अच्छे 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 बनने की कोशिश करते हैं, ना हमारे अंदर के दुख का पहचान होता है, ना किसको हमने दुख दिया है वो पहचान होता है. So I just started off with this, I forgive and I forgive and I ask for forgiveness. And 3 hours, I did it for 3 hours, 3 hours. Yes. And in this 3 hours, I wrote down so many names. I forgive so and so person. And I ask for forgiveness from this person. And then I started writing, I forgive this person because he did this to me or she did this to me. And I ask for forgiveness for anything. I don't remember. Then I forgive because this is the kind of words that you used against me. And I ask for forgiveness to be equally hurtful to you. Yes. And I did this constantly for 3 hours. And that day, night, it was a miracle. I was completely healed. Healing is simply this much most of the times. I was just talking to one of our students, and she told me that she had taught her maid this forgiveness technique. And the maid had a knee pain, which made her take chutti, or she was on leave from her job because of this sudden knee pain which cropped up, and something happened. She slipped and she had a bad fall. And the maid on her own thought that she would just do forgiveness. And she says within 1 hour, okay, she was absolutely all right. It does not require a great intelligent mind to do all of this. Most of the times, the problem is great intelligent minds get stuck in their intelligence and incarnations pass through. I'm sure maybe I would have also been some of them. Yes. So it is time to become saral or buddhiman. Yes. Wise yet simple, not ignorant, wise yet simple. So just let's take off on this simple program of forgiving. Yes, it's very, very effective. Okay, so I hope you understood today's worksheet. I forgive and I ask for forgiveness. Just do it. We will have journals coming up on our website for such work to be done, but just do it. You say forgive and I forgive and ask for forgiveness. So let's do Thanksgiving. We thank the Supreme Parabrahman, the Divine Father, Divine Mother, my spiritual teacher and all spiritual teachers and all the great ones, all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Paramatmas, Tirthankaras, prophets, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers. Thank you for the purification, the strengthening, the empowerment, the upgradation, the alignment to be able to fulfill our part in bringing heaven to ourselves and into all those who are around us. Oh yeah, I just forgot one bit. And the next day morning, after I did this forgiveness for about 3 hours, the major person I was actually extremely angry with, because I felt he let me down or misled, or there was something which he did really nasty. And this person, after 3 months, he calls me up and he says, he was extremely unwell for these 3 months and he had undergone an operation. So don't just think that when you are angry with somebody, it's only you get hurt. The opposite person also gets hurt, and you simply do not know. So let's make this world a healthier world. Let's start forgiving each other. Let's live a more beautiful life. Atma Namaste.